Here, the clerk, will you call the roll?
Thank you, ma'am. Planning Development and the Environment Committee roll call. Legislator Laura Curran. Here. Legislator Carrie Solage. Here. Ranking Member Arnold Drucker. Here. Legislator Stephen Rhodes. Present. Legislator Denise Ford. Here. Vice Chairman Dennis Dunn. Here. Chairman Laura Schaefer. Here. We have a quorum, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, we have one item on the agenda today, and that is clerk item number 95-17. This is an ordinance making certain determinations, pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act and authorizing the County Executive of the County of Nassau to accept on behalf of the County of Nassau an offer of purchase from Breezy Hill Group LLC of certain premises located in Westbury, Town of North Hempstead, County of Nassau, State of New York, said property known as Section 11, Block 504, Lot 7, on the land and tax map of the County of Nassau, and authorizing the County Executive to execute a deed, contract of sale, and all pertinent documents in connection therewith to consummate this sale. May I have a motion? Moved by Legislator Dunn, seconded by Legislator Rhodes. Is there someone to speak on this?
Good afternoon, legislators. Kevin Walsh from the Office of Real Estate Services. One thing I just noticed on the ordinance, just one technical point, it says it's Lot 7. It's actually part of Lot 7. So I'll give a little bit of background. This is a property, a surplus county property, located 970 Brush Hollow Road in the area many of you I'm sure know by where all the parkways intersect by the NYCB Theater, that we issued an RFP in 2015, issued an RFP again in mid-2016, and got best and final offers, and we were selling the property for $1,200,000, which is in excess of the appraised value. The Nassau County Planning Commission unanimously approved the sale on December 15th of last year. One thing the purchaser is going to be required to do is this property entails a small industrial commercial building with several garages, and about half of it is old office space. Behind this property is an active storm basin that the county still uses and maintains. So that portion of the lot will have to be subdivided by the purchaser at his cost. And that will be another visit to the Planning Commission, and upon that completion of the subdivision, we will close.
Okay. There was a discrepancy in the amount of money between the bidders, is that correct?
In terms of the bidders, we had issued the RFP in 2015. We didn't get acceptable bids. We issued again in 2016. We received two proposals, one from the successful proposer of $1 million, and the second proposal, the highest, was only half that, $500,000.
Okay.
Chairwoman, I have a question.
Yes, Legislator Drucker.
You said that the storm basin in the back of it is going to be subdivided. So we're selling it now, or we're not selling that now?
We're not selling the storm basin. We're selling the portion in front of the storm basin.
Okay, so the lot that's being sold doesn't include the storm basin.
Right, and the good news is, we were concerned we were selling the small piece, which is separated, that we need to access the storm basin through this property we're selling, but we do have other ways to access the storm basin. So I believe it's separated and fenced in, but all that will have to be done in the subdivision. So in other words, we'll be just creating one separate lot.
Has there been any discussion on what price would be generated from the storm basin once it's subdivided?
Well, the storm basin is going to remain a storm basin. We're only selling the surplus piece. We don't need any more. The storm basin, we are keeping title because it's still an active storm basin.
But you said you'd it would be revisited after the subdivision went through. What would be revisited?
No, I think what I meant is we'll be closing on the piece that we're selling. Unless I was unclear, I apologize.
So the closing won't take place until the subdivision is done?
Correct.
I got you, okay.
But usually it's not a long process. Usually it's one trip to the Planning Commission. It's just really a matter of doing the maps and the surveys, and the purchaser is already engaged in that. So they've already worked with an engineer and surveyor.
Thank you.
Legislator Ford.
Hi, Kevin, do we know what he's going to use the property for?
I believe the company that purchased it is currently a small construction company based in Syosset, and I think it's just a matter of he's going to expand his business and use it for predominantly the same use.
All right, thank you.
Legislator Curran.
This is listed as surplus property. What does that mean and why is it surplus?
Well, it was, the building portion we're selling was used by the police department for one of its units, a property crimes unit, which they're not going to consolidate into another space, I believe, into the second precinct policing unit. Upon completion, if necessary, in the interim, and I have spoken with the commissioner's office of this, they could have it in Belmore, but it's a unit also that also serviced a couple of like police cars, but they can also do that in fleet. So it really truly is surplus property. It's like we obviously look at opportunities where we consolidate space, put properties back on the tax rolls. There's not too many of these opportunities, but this is one.
Okay. And according to the appraisal, if I read it correctly, there's a gasoline pump serving a 10,000-gallon in-ground tank. Would there be any question of liability for us, for the county on this?
That, just so you're aware, yes, it's correct. Like I mentioned, the police vehicle's been serviced there. And one of the things where it took a lot of time even to get to this, the purchaser had concerns with that. He engaged some environmentalists to look with due diligence and so forth. We have tank records we have to maintain. I don't know, it'll be up to the new purchaser to decide how he wants it. If we intend to continue to use those tanks or abandon them, by law. We are selling this property as is where is. We're not keeping any liability. And that's, usually one of the challenges to get a deal done, but, it's taken a while, but at least we have a contract with no conditions. We have no contingency for financing and nothing for environmental.
So the buyer buys it as is, we're off the hook.
Correct.
Thanks.
Any questions from any of the legislators? There being none?
I do have one question. What was did OSPAC make a recommendation on this?
Yes, OSPAC did also authorize and approve this with obviously the condition that the storm basin portion be retained. And DPW was only one to approve this sale also with the storm basin being retained. They were consistent with DPW. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, there being no other questions, all those in favor? Clerk, item number 95-17, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The item passes.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn. So moved by legislator Dunn, seconded by legislator Rhodes. All right. All in favor, say aye.